Welcome to Nirmaya Care, where health meets understanding. This video was originally published on nirmayacare.com. For an uncensored, ad-free version of this video and other health education content, visit nirmayacare.com.
All right, let's talk about the wild world of health supplements. It's an industry that's absolutely built on promises, but which ones actually hold up? We're going to break it all down and give you a simple framework to help you separate the real science from the clever sales pitch.
You know the one I'm talking about, right? You walk down that aisle and it's just this wall of optimism. Every single bottle seems to promise a fix for something: a stronger immune system, a sharper brain, the best sleep of your life. It's such a tempting idea that better health is just one little capsule away.
And that right there is the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? At the end of the day, most of us just want to know what actually works, who it works for, and when. And that is exactly what we are here to figure out. So to cut through all that noise and confusion, we're going to use a really simple but super powerful tool, the supplement pyramid. Think of it like your roadmap, helping you sort the stuff that's genuinely useful from the stuff that's just pure hype. We'll start at the very bottom with the solid base, the foundational tier. These are the few supplements that are honestly pretty hard to get enough of from food alone. Then we'll climb up to the middle, the conditional tier, for things that can be helpful but only in very specific situations. And finally, we'll get to the tippy top, the hype tier, where the marketing is loud but the science is, well, pretty quiet. So let's start at the base of our pyramid. These are kind of the unsung heroes of the supplement world. They aren't flashy, they don't make crazy promises, but they fill some really common nutritional gaps that a lot of us have, which makes them genuinely effective for a lot of people. Take fiber, for instance. It's often sold as this dramatic gut cleanse or some kind of quick fix, but its real power, it's much more boring and way more important. Soluble fiber is just quietly working in the background, day in and day out, helping with cholesterol, stabilizing your blood sugar, and feeding the good bacteria in your gut. So it's not a magic reset button. It's the daily maintenance that keeps the whole system running. Next up, creatine. Man, this one is surrounded by so many myths. But the science is actually pretty simple. It's not a steroid. It's not a stimulant. All it does is help your body's own energy cycle work a little more efficiently when you're doing short, intense stuff like lifting weights. And get this, new research is even suggesting it might have some cognitive benefits too, especially for vegetarians. It just helps your body and your brain work a little closer to their full potential. All right, let's move up to the middle of the pyramid. Now, the supplements in this tier, they're not for everyone. You gotta think of them like specialized tools in a toolbox. I mean, a wrench is incredibly useful when you need to tighten a bolt, but it's pretty useless for hammering a nail. It's all about having a clear and specific purpose. The absolute key here is context. If you're using a supplement to fix a specific problem you know you have, like a diagnosed deficiency, then yeah, you're probably going to see a benefit. But if you're just adding it on top of an already healthy lifestyle just because, well, you're probably just making some very, very expensive pee. And you're going to recognize a lot of these names. This tier is packed with the big ones. You've got protein powder, a super convenient tool for athletes, vitamin D, which is crucial if you don't get a lot of sun, magnesium, which is involved in hundreds of bodily functions, probiotics for your gut, melatonin for your sleep cycle, and omega-3s for your heart. Let's dig into a couple of these. This slide right here is a perfect example of why you need to be specific. Not all magnesium is the same, not even close. You can see that magnesium glycinate is awesome for relaxation and sleep, but magnesium citrate, well, that's a laxative. So taking the wrong one isn't just going to be ineffective, it could be actively unhelpful. Melatonin is another one that almost everybody misunderstands. It is not a sedative that just knocks you out cold. Think of it more like a time signal. It's a hormone that basically taps your brain on the shoulder and says, hey, it's nighttime now. That's why it's so good for something like jet lag or for shift workers. But for general insomnia that's caused by stress, the evidence for it is actually surprisingly weak. And what about omega-3s for heart health? Look, the science is pretty solid on this. Eating fatty fish like salmon is consistently linked to better heart outcomes. And while supplements can help fill the gap if you just don't eat fish, they don't really seem to offer that same level of protection. In this case, the whole food is just more powerful than the isolated part. And now we've reached the peak of our pyramid, the hype tier. This is where the marketing promises are the absolute loudest, the price tags are the steepest, and the scientific evidence, well, it's often the thinnest.
Let's start with the classic multivitamin. You know, the health insurance so many of us take every single morning. The reality is pretty sobering. Massive, large-scale studies have found exactly zero mortality benefit for healthy people. Zero. In fact, they can sometimes create a false sense of security or even lead to dangerously high levels of certain vitamins.
I bet you've seen this headline floating around on social media. The natural Ozempic. It's talking about a supplement called berberine, and it's being hyped up as some kind of miracle for weight loss and blood sugar. But is there any truth to it at all?
Not even close. I mean, just look at this chart. While berberine might have a tiny, modest effect on metabolism, it's a whisper compared to the absolute shout of actual prescription drugs. That whole natural Ozempic thing isn't just an exaggeration, it is pure marketing fiction.
And finally, detox teas. Okay, let's be brutally honest about these. They're just laxatives and diuretics, period. Any weight you lose is just water and, well, stool. It's not fat. Your body already has a world-class, top-of-the-line detoxification system. It's called your liver and your kidneys. They work 24/7, and they do not need any help from a ridiculously overpriced tea.
So after climbing all the way up the pyramid, how do you actually put this all into practice? It really just comes down to having a smart, evidence-based strategy that looks past the flashy marketing on the bottle.
First, you have to understand the reality of the supplement world. It's basically a regulatory gray zone, not like medicine. Second, the word natural on a label means almost nothing, and it definitely does not mean safe. And third, the placebo effect is a real, powerful feeling, but just feeling better doesn't always mean the supplement is actually doing anything biologically.
So here it is, your 4-step plan for making way smarter choices. Number 1, start with food. It is always the best place to get you nutrients. 2, identify a specific need. Don't just take something in case. 3, look for third-party testing on the label. That's your best shot at making sure what's on the label is actually in the bottle. And 4, and this is the most important one, talk to your doctor. They can help you figure out if something is actually safe and right for you.
And all of this brings us to the final big question. Supplements can be useful tools for sure, but they are not a substitute for a healthy lifestyle. So take a hard look at your own routine and ask yourself, is my strategy built on a solid foundation of evidence, or am I just buying optimism in a bottle? The answer could change everything. Thanks for watching.